Hello, everyone, and welcome to number 38, Gerald Rudolph Ford. Nicknamed to his friends and Americans as Jerry or Jerry Ford. Wife is still alive. Ford did not die that long ago in 2006. Recently lived to be in his 90s. Very respected individual in politics, very honorable man, long career. Look at that, long career in the House of Representatives, Speaker of the House for a long time, Vice President under Nixon, and then obviously he becomes president after Nixon resigns. So, notable event. Right away, this is really an important one, 1974, after Nixon is, impeached and Nixon resigns, basically Ford quickly pardons Nixon from any crimes and misdemeanors. And why did he do this? Well, for him, the idea was that if you actually prosecuted an American president and put an American president in jail, how would that look to the country and even to the world? It would really do a lot to weaken our government. And he was really right about that. So he knew this was not the popular thing to do. A lot of Americans were outraged and wanted to see Nixon go to jail. And he went above popularity to do the right thing. Now, it came back to haunt him when he runs for his own reelection in 1976. A lot of Americans didn't forget that, and they didn't vote for Ford in a fairly close election against Jimmy Carter. But most historians today agree that really Ford did the right thing. So looking back, historically, he's applauded for that. But at the time, there was a lot of criticism against him for doing that particular pardon. All right. Also, in 1975 or so, there were major communist victories in Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. So our troops pull out in 1975 out of Vietnam. A lot of Americans just wanted to forget the Vietnam War. We saw it as a loss. What we do all this fighting for. We did not treat our veterans, with any respect. It was sort of a disgraceful way we treated veterans. So that was sort of a hard time for the American people. Also, there were some economic problems. There's a lot of inflation, a lot of prices rising really fast. Ford tried to fix it. They had this campaign called Whip Inflation Now, or Win. Like, people would wear these win buttons, said win on them, and it didn't work. It failed, actually. So the economy was really struggling in the 1970s. There was an assassination attempt in 1975 on the president. This woman, her name was Lynette. Her nickname was Squeaky. And her last name was Fromme, F-R-O-M-M-E. She was about 26. This time, she was a disciple of a guy named Charles Manson. Charles Manson was this psychopath. He's still in prison. He was a serial murderer, but he often recruited young women to murder for him in this weird sort of cult that he was sort of cultivating. And she tries to shoot the president. When she shook his hand at a sort of this gathering. The pistol did not fire, so very similar to like Andrew Jackson's sort of assassination attempt, and she is arrested. All right, so that's kind of the major events for Gerald Ford. Now, miscellaneous fun facts. He's actually born, his first name was supposed to be Leslie, his middle name was Lynch, and his last name was King Jr. But basically he's actually renamed Gerald Rudolph Ford after his adopted father. So here's the story. The first father left the mother when he was a baby. He never came back, basically. She got remarried. The new man in her life was a great dad to Ford. Ford only saw his real birth father twice in his life. Once he was in 17, about graduating high school. Father just wanted to say hello. And then once when he graduated law school. And that was it. So you imagine those experiences. Ford is very friendly, open, honest guy. Actually an excellent football player. Played in college for the Michigan Wolverines. He was a center. And he was actually offered a pro football contract by the Detroit Lions and the Packers. But he turned it down to go to Yale Law School instead. So, again, back then, the idea of getting a pro contract wasn't as lucrative as it is certainly today. So the idea to go to law school was more important to Ford. And in some respects, that was a better decision for him because that led to a great political career and then eventually president of the United States. Enjoyed swimming, playing golf, playing tennis, and also skiing. So that's a little bit about Gerald Ford. All right. Thank you, and have a great day.